Hi friends, your pal Scott Garibay, and today I'm going to continue my Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles uh, Onyx City recap, and basically, oh, I'm sorry, Wave Haven. Wave Haven is the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Wave Haven campaign recap session 2. And at this point, Casey Jones has returned the evil kung fu scroll, the Dragon's Shadow, to Master Splinter. Master Splinter put it into secretly hid the magical scroll among 5 concealed containers, and he has sent the brothers, Michelangelo and Donatello, Leonardo and Raphael, out, and Casey Jones. And this was very interesting. So Raphael is trying to learn everything he can from Master Splinter, right? And Master Splinter has now, and even though Casey Jones lied and used an evil scroll, Master Splinter is giving trust to Casey Jones, and there's a 20% chance that Casey Jones actually has the magical scroll, could just literally crack it open again and then take it, right? But so Master Splinter is trusting all of the brothers that the scroll will be hidden, right? And so he dispatches them to the 5 boroughs of New York City, and that is Brooklyn and the Bronx, Staten Island and Queens, and Manhattan. Okay, so he dispatches them each to one of the 5 boroughs, and Raphael picks the Bronx because it's the most dangerous. He then goes down into the sewers, and then we talk about how do you get through the city, and this is one of the coolest parts of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So they are a secret. They can't just take a cab, right? Because they look weird. They don't have the body shape of a regular human, and they have to keep themselves secret and keep themselves safe, right? So they have to. So how is he going to travel through the city? Is he going to go through the tunnels, which will take in the sewer, which will take the longest? Is he going to ride the elevated rail, which is incredibly dangerous, right? Because you could fall off, and there's poles you have to jump over and all kinds of stuff like that. Or is he going to truck surf, right? And so that is jumping onto the back of a truck that is heading downtown, and then allowing that to get you there, right? So he decides to go through the tunnels, right? And so this was interesting. So I made one roll, and I didn't really have in mind what's going to attack him in the sewer. So I decided to make it an environmental danger, and the player character never actually even found out what the danger was. I was like, okay, you have to choose the right path, right? And if you choose the right path, you get there in 4 hours unaccosted, and if you choose the wrong path, you're going to face a danger. And what that danger was that if he chose the wrong path, some of the sewers at different times of the day get flooded with water, right? And so there was this possibility that he would be he would take the wrong path and get into one of the the drowning tubes, right? And get drowned, literally get pushed up against the grate, not be able to escape, and drown, right? And so he made the roll, and it seemed to him like nothing happened. But I didn't tell him, well, you almost drowned in one of the drowning tubes, so, and I think that's interesting. And I love that the environment is like a danger in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game. So he makes it to the Bronx, he pokes up, and it's nighttime, it's 9 p.m., right? And he pokes his head up out of a manhole cover, and he looks across, and actually he sees 3 Foot Clan going into a pawn shop in the Bronx. So it is dangerous. Foot Clan is right there. And so I said to him, hey, what color are the gis of the Foot Clan? And so the Foot Clan right now has 3 leaders. It's actually split. Shredder fought Splinter a few months ago, and then Shredder actually fell down into a precipice. Nobody knows where he is, and he hasn't returned, right? In fact, he could be dead, right? But nobody knows. And so right now, the Foot Clan is being fought over, and there are 3 adversaries that are each leading part of the Foot Clan. And they have 3 different color gis. There are the black gi Foot Clan, there are the white gi Foot Clan, and there are the gray gi Foot Clan. And so I said to the gold player who's playing Raphael, I was like, what color is the gi? And this is interesting because he said they're black gis. Now, the thing I liked about this was I didn't know, and so I had already written down. So the leaders of the Foot Clan are secret, right? So he doesn't know who the leaders are. It's three different adversaries. These aren't mooks. These aren't minions. By the way, um, Feng Shui calls their minions mooks. I don't like that term. I'm going to start using minion, right? I think minion, henchman, villain. That's very, So basically, the leader of each of these Fit Clan factions is a villain, not a henchman, right? And by the way, I don't think uh, Feng Shui actually has a henchman, right? It just has mooks and villains, right? And so I thought that was kind of interesting. They call them adversaries and mooks in the in the Feng Shui. I'm going to use villain and minion, right? So the minions are the regular Foot Clan ninjas, right? Which as you've seen in every a TMNT can do a double kick and knock down two Foot Clan guys. That happens in about every scene in a combat, So so we hadn't seen how this works, right? So these three, so one adversary, and that's the lead, and actually, that is possibly the lead of the Foot Clan, is there, and then two mooks are going into this pawn shop, and they're going to rob it, and then across the street is 5 additional Foot Clan. So, and this is just when he arrives in the Bronx, right? And he's got this super secret, valuable scroll, which may be the real magical scroll or may not. So what he does is he pops out and he says, I'm going to fight the Foot Clan guys. Actually, he left that up to a random die roll on what Raphael would do, which I think is really fascinating. And some of the best players I have, they are really playing to find out, not just fulfill, right? And I love that. I'm so passionate about that. I think that's one of the things I really stand for is don't write a story in your head and then drag your players through it. No one sitting at that table should know where that story is going to end. And that requires an incredibly skilled game master. It's one of the reasons why people don't do it. It's one of the reasons why there's so much railroading, is it takes a lot less skill to railroad. Let me stay focused here. All right, so at this point, he runs out and we do our first attack. So he attacks 5 Foot Clan ninjas, all who are minions at the same time. He has a 16 in his martial arts, right? So basically, so the way it works, and then mooks have a defense of 13. Okay, so he has a 16. He has a shtick, it gives him +2. So now he's at an 18, and he rolls his swerve. His swerve gives him a +3 more, right? Now he's at a 21. Okay, then then you take that 21 and you put that against the defense of the minions of 13, right? That means that there's 8 left. It's 8 positive. Then he adds his psi attack, which is oh, and I'm sorry, we're not there yet. I apologize. He's got an 18. Okay, he attacked 5 opponents at once. That's a -5. So now he's at a 13. Okay. His swerve was a +3, which means that he is now at a +3. Okay, so he has 3 points, and he gets to add his psi damage to that, which is 12. Now he would then, if it was an adversary, he would you compare that to a toughness. Toughnesses are usually about 7, 8, or 9, maybe as high as 10, maybe as low as 6, but between 6 and 10, right? So that would have been enough to overcome an adversary's toughness. Minions have no toughness. If you do a single point of damage, you take them down. So he actually defeated 5 minions at once. And the way we talked about that is he goes up, he does a double kick, kicks 2 of them in the head, they drop. He actually drops down on top of the 2 guys and then he sized 2 of the other ones in the belly, and then he grabs the other one and actually pulls his legs out from him and smashes his back of his head on the pavement, knocking him out. So he knocks out all 5 of them in one attack. He then goes into the pawn shop and fights the 2 mooks and the adversary. And get this is wild, okay? So we had been just doing turn-based initiative, but then we used the shot clock, okay? And the shot clock is a special initiative only used in Feng Shui. It's very complicated. I'm not going to explain it in this video. I may explain it in a future video. But what ended up happening is he rolled very high and the adversary rolled very low. Now, and get this, rolled very low. And this was really fascinating. So what ended up happening is that he got to go 3 times before the adversary and the minions went. And he actually, by 3 points, defeated a 35 wound adversary before they ever even had a chance to go, right? And defeated the minions for free. So he defeated, and he literally defeated 7 Foot Clan minions and an adversary of a villain of, and I didn't, yeah, a villain, but the villain never attacked, right? So, and that happened because of the shot clock, and my adversary rolled very low on initiative, and the player character Raphael rolled very high, right? And so at this point, and get this, that was the end of the session, right? So he has not hidden the shadow scroll, the dragon shadow, the magical scroll yet, but he has defeated the Foot Clan in the Bronx, and that was the end of session 2. Every single word you just heard in this video is my humble opinion. The important part is when I get to hear your humble opinion, when you get in the comments and send your traffic. Please consider subscribing, and have a fetch millennium.